Conclusion. Lessons from the edge of human endurance. What you've just discovered is far more than a survival manual for freezing temperatures. It's a living example of human mastery over nature's harshest challenges. In Yakutia, this remote, icy kingdom at the edge of Siberia, life demands more than strength. It demands wisdom, community spirit, and an almost spiritual respect for the elements. The Yakut people don't just fight the cold, they live with it, adapt to it, and thrive alongside it. From their brilliant Balagan homes, raised to outsmart the permafrost, to their layered armor of fur, designed to turn nature's cruelty into comfort, every aspect of their lifestyle carries lessons for the rest of us. Adaptation over resistance, simplicity over technology, community over isolation, respect over dominance. While the modern world chases convenience, turning up thermostats, buying electric heaters, or throwing on synthetic fabrics, the Yakut people remind us that true survival comes from working with nature, not against it. They show us that resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about preparing, learning, and coming together, whether it's restuffing walls with moss, sharing firewood with neighbors, or offering pancakes to the sacred hearth. And so, the final question returns to you. In your own life, what challenges feel like your 71 degrees Celsius winter? What obstacles feel unmovable, like the permafrost under your feet? The Yakut people have proven that no environment is too extreme, no condition too hostile. When human spirit, wisdom, and community come together, they don't just endure, they master the impossible. So, next time life tests you, remember Yakutia. Remember the fire that never goes out. Remember the people who turn ice into survival, and survival into a way of life worth celebrating. If they can do that in the coldest place on Earth, what's stopping you? Thank you for joining this journey. Stay inspired, stay curious, and as always, keep the fire alive. A world locked in ice. The ultimate human challenge. There are cold places in the world, and then there is Yakutia. Most of us know winter is a season we tolerate for a few months now on the streets. Chilly winds on the way to work, maybe even the thrill of building a snowman or going skiing. But in Yakutia, winter isn't a season, it's a way of life. It dominates the land, the sky, and the lives of the people who dare to call this frozen frontier home. In the northeastern corner of Siberia lies a region so hostile, so bone-chillingly cold, that even the bravest travelers think twice before visiting. Yakutia, also known as the Sakha Republic, holds the record for the coldest inhabited place on Earth. Here, temperatures plummet to a staggering 71 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Celsius. To put that in perspective, that's colder than the surface of Mars on some days. Imagine stepping outside into an atmosphere so cold that your eyelashes freeze together in seconds. The air you breathe feels like shards of glass slicing into your lungs. Your skin, if left exposed, begins to freeze within minutes. Vehicles seize up, electronics fail, even steel becomes brittle and breaks under stress. Yet, against all odds, life here doesn't just exist, it thrives. The Yakut people, descendants of Turkic-speaking settlers who migrated north centuries ago, have turned survival into an art form. Their story isn't just about enduring extreme cold. It's a story of innovation, resilience, community, and deep respect for the forces of nature. But how exactly do they do it? How do they keep their bodies warm when temperatures drop lower than any human should endure? How do they heat their homes without relying on modern conveniences like electricity? How do they keep food from freezing solid or, worse, freezing themselves? Let's take a closer look at the breathtaking strategies, deeply rooted traditions, and ingenious techniques that make survival possible in Yakutia, the Kingdom of Ice. Fortress homes, nature-proof architecture born of necessity. Imagine waking up each day knowing that if your home fails, your family could freeze before nightfall. In Yakutia, homes aren't just places to live, they are the first line of defense against nature's harshest conditions. The Balagan, the traditional fortress of the Yakut people. Let's begin with the Balagan, the traditional winter home of the Yakut people. At first glance, it may seem like nothing more than a rustic log, cabin-thick wooden walls, steeply pitched roofs, and a basic, earthy appearance. But beneath this simple design lies centuries of engineering brilliance, refined by generations of survivalists. The Balagon is built on stilts. Why? Because the ground in Yakutia is permafrost permanently frozen soil that can shift and collapse if it melts. If a home were built directly on this unstable foundation, the heat from inside would slowly melt the ground below, causing the structure to sink or tilt dangerously. By elevating the house on wooden or metal stilts, the Yakut people prevent this catastrophic failure. It's a principle similar to building on swampy or unstable ground in other parts of the world, but in Yakutia, it's a life-saving necessity. Natural insulation, the power of moss. But elevation isn't enough. Insulation is critical. The Yakut people discovered long ago that moss, gathered from the forests, is one of the best natural insulators available. They stuff this moss into the gaps between the massive logs that make up the walls of the Balagon. Moss not only traps warm air inside, but also prevents icy winds from seeping through the cracks. It's like wrapping your home in a giant breathable sweater. However, nature has its quirks. Birds love this moss, often stealing it to build their nests. As a result, Yakut families must restuff their walls every year, turning home maintenance into a seasonal ritual of care and preparation. Roof design. The snow slide effect. The roof of the Balagon is steeply pitched, much like the traditional homes you might see in snowy regions of the Alps or Scandinavia. This design prevents heavy snow from piling up and collapsing the structure under its weight. Snow slides off the roof with ease, ensuring the home remains safe and structurally sound throughout the long winter. Portable shelters for nomads. The chum. While the Balagon is perfect for settled families, nomadic Yakut families, those who move with their herds of reindeer or search for seasonal resources, lie on a different kind of shelter. The chum. The chum resembles the tipi structures used by Native American tribes, but is adapted for Arctic survival. Made from reindeer hides stretched over wooden poles, the chum is a mobile home that provides both insulation and portability. At its center is a small fire, with smoke escaping through a hole at the top. The hides trap the heat inside, creating a surprisingly cozy environment, even when temperatures outside are beyond freezing. The chum allows nomadic families to carry their shelter with them, setting up camp wherever their journey takes them. Imagine sitting inside this small, fur-lined tent, surrounded by your family, listening to the crackle of the fire while a blizzard rages just beyond the thin walls. The intimacy and closeness to nature are unlike anything experienced in the modern world. Modern engineering meets ancient wisdom. As Yakutia developed, modern homes began to appear in villages and cities. These homes are built from Siberian larch, wood, cement, or brick. But modern doesn't mean careless. Builders in Yakutia still respect the permafrost, driving massive pillars deep into the ground, sometimes monitored for years to ensure the structure's stability. Modern homes feature triple-layered glass windows, thick curtains, and layered insulation to keep the warmth in and the cold out. Some families even seal gaps with a mixture of snow and water in the winter, which freezes instantly to create an additional icy barrier against the cold. Even with access to newer materials and techniques, the principles of Yakut architecture remain the same: trap heat, block wind, and avoid disturbing the frozen earth beneath. Heating systems, the science of staying warm without electricity. Imagine a place where you can't just press a button to turn on the heat. No electric heaters, no digital thermostats, no centralized climate control. Yet, people live on comfortably, safely, and reliably. How do they do it? Gas lines. Limited but life-saving? In Yakutia, some villages are connected to government-supplied gas lines. This gas powers radiators installed in most homes, providing a steady source of heat. But here's the catch. Gas alone is not enough. At temperatures as extreme as 71 degrees Celsius, the gas supply struggles to keep up with the relentless cold. To make matters more challenging, heating costs in Yakutia are not cheap. Some families pay the equivalent of $80 per month, which is a significant expense in a region where economic opportunities are limited. Moreover, the gas pipelines themselves are under constant threat from the freezing environment. To prevent them from freezing and cracking, these pipes are heavily insulated and often kept above ground, where they can be monitored and maintained more easily. In every village, there are designated workers responsible for checking the gas lines and coal furnaces. They work around the clock, ensuring the heating systems stay operational. This communal effort highlights one of Yakutia's greatest strengths: collective responsibility. In this place, survival isn't just personal, it's a team effort. The fireplace, the heart of traditional homes. Long before gas lines arrived, the fireplace was the MVP of Yakut heating technology. Made from stone or clay, these fireplaces are designed to retain heat for long periods. Once the fire is lit, the surrounding materials absorb and slowly release the heat, creating a warm, steady environment that lasts through the night. The fireplace is not just a functional element, it's the heart of the home. Families gather around it to cook meals, share stories, and stay warm. The smoke escapes through a chimney, keeping the interior clean and breathable. During the short summer months, families collect and store firewood, preparing for the long, merciless winter ahead. This isn't just a charits, a survival ritual. Wood is stacked high in outdoor sheds, ready to feed the fireplace for 9 months of unrelenting cold. The camel stove, small but mighty. For smaller homes or nomadic shelters, the Yakut people use a traditional stove known as the camel. Made of clay or stone, the camel is smaller than a fireplace but just as efficient. It burns wood or dried animal dung, producing long-lasting heat that can keep a small space warm for hours. You could think of the camel as the original space heater, compact, portable, and incredibly effective. It's a testament to the Yakut people's ability to make the most out of limited resources. Heated stones, nature's portable warmth. One of the most fascinating heating hacks used by the Yakut people is hot stone technology. Stones are heated in a fire until they glow red hot. Once they reach peak temperature, they are wrapped in cloth or placed under furniture, creating localized pockets of warmth. These stones retain heat for hours, allowing families to sleep or relax in cozy nooks, even when the rest of the home is icy cold. This technique is portable, sustainable, and incredibly effective, proving once again that low-tech solutions can often outperform their high-tech counterparts when designed with deep understanding of the environment. Coal furnaces, community-powered heat. In villages without access to gas, coal becomes the primary fuel. Coal is mined locally and distributed among villagers. Maintaining the coal furnaces is a full-time job, with rotating shifts ensuring the fires never die out. Could you imagine taking turns with your neighbors to keep a fire burning 24/7 for months on end? In Yakutia, this isn't just a romantic idea, it's daily life. It's a powerful reminder that community cooperation is as essential to survival as the fire itself. Insulation beyond walls. Wool, fur, and layered design. The Yakut people don't stop at insulating their walls. They also insulate their floors, ceilings, and windows. Thick animal hides are used to line walls and floors, turning homes into giant fur-lined cocoons. Double and triple layered windows, sometimes stuffed with moss or hay, create a thermal barrier that prevents heat from escaping. Thick woolen curtains and rugs cover windows, doors, and even walls, trapping warmth like a giant, layered blanket. In two-story homes, the living and sleeping areas are placed on the upper floor, because heat rises. This architectural choice allows families to stay warm without needing extra fuel, turning their homes into multi-level survival systems. Dressing for survival, turning nature into armor. No matter how well insulated the home, there are moments when the outdoors calls. Whether for hunting, working, or simply traveling between places, the people of Yakutia must face the brutal cold head-on. And when they do, their greatest weapon isn't technology, it's tradition. The power of fur, portable life, saving warmth. The Yakut people have long understood that nature provides the best insulation. Long before synthetic materials like Gore-Tex or Thinsulate, they relied on animal hides. Reindeer, fox, wolf, and even bear fur toe create garments that trap body heat and shield the wearer from icy winds. Traditional fur parkas are not just clothing, they are survival armor. These garments are so thick and so well crafted that wearing one feels like stepping into a portable furnace. Interestingly, there is functional design in how men and women wear their fur. Men's fur coats often have the fur facing outward, allowing for greater mobility while working or hunting. Women's coats, known as tagar and tangas, typically have the fur on the inside, providing maximum warmth and durability. Some coats are adorned with silver or copper embellishments, serving both aesthetic and social purpose, a symbol of status and craftsmanship in Yakut society. Footwear built for ice. What's the first part of your body to freeze when you step into the snow? Your feet. The Yakut people know this well, which is why they developed fur-lined boots that are engineered for survival. These boots are not only made from thick hides, but are also stuffed with dried grass, creating an extra layer of insulation that keeps feet warm even on the coldest days. These aren't just shoes, they are life-saving tools, allowing the Yakut to walk on ice, hunt in snow, and travel through frozen landscapes without risking frostbite. Mastering the art of layering. If you've ever been told to dress in layers for winter, you've heard advice that the Yakut people have perfected over centuries. Their traditional clothing system includes inner layer, soft, breathable garments made from wool or rawhide suede, designed to wick moisture away from the skin and trap body heat. Middle layer, flowing tunics for men and yoked dresses for women, adding both insulation and mobility. Outer layer, thick, heavy fur coats or padded jackets, acting as the final barrier against wind and ice. While traditional clothing is still widely used, modern adaptations have found their way into Yakut life. Down jackets, synthetic parkas, mittens, and face coverings offer added protection, especially for children and the elderly. However, traditional fur remains the gold standard. In fact, in 2010, a high-quality fur coat in Yakutsk could cost over $1,500 USD. Families save for years or even take out loans to afford these garments, understanding that in Yakutia, proper clothing can mean the difference between life and death. Cultural identity in every stitch. Yakut clothing is not just practical, it's cultural. Each garment tells a story of heritage, craftsmanship, and community pride. Many families hand down fur coats and boots from generation to generation, preserving not only the material, but the memories and traditions they represent. Children grow up learning how to care for their garments, how to layer properly, and how to recognize the signs of frostbite. It's not just about staying warm, it's about passing on survival wisdom, ensuring that the next generation is ready to face the ice. Conclusion. Lessons from the edge of human endurance. What you've just discovered is far more than a survival manual for freezing temperatures. It's a living example of human mastery over nature's harshest challenges. In Yakutia, this remote, icy kingdom at the edge of Siberia, life demands more than strength. It demands wisdom, community spirit, and an almost spiritual respect for the elements. The Yakut people don't just fight the cold, they live with it, adapt to it, and thrive alongside it. From their brilliant Balagan homes, raised to outsmart the permafrost, to their layered armor of fur, designed to turn nature's cruelty into comfort, every aspect of their lifestyle carries lessons for the rest of us. Adaptation over resistance, simplicity over technology, community over isolation, respect over dominance. While the modern world chases convenience, turning up thermostats, buying electric heaters, or throwing on synthetic fabrics, the Yakut people remind us that true survival comes from working with nature, not against it. They show us that resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about preparing, learning, and coming together, whether it's restuffing walls with moss, sharing firewood with neighbors, or offering pancakes to the sacred hearth. And so, the final question returns to you. In your own life, what challenges feel like your 71 degrees Celsius winter? What obstacles feel unmovable, like the permafrost under your feet? The Yakut people have proven that no environment is too extreme, no condition too hostile, when human spirit, wisdom, and community come together. They don't just endure, they master the impossible. So, next time life tests you, Remember Yakutia. Remember the fire that never goes out. Remember the people who turn ice into survival, and survival into a way of life worth celebrating. If they can do that in the coldest place on Earth, what's stopping you? Thank you for joining this journey. Stay inspired, stay curious, and as always, keep the fire alive.